I have this very important question na nakuha ko sa page, and this is something na gusto ko talaga pag-usapan. If I had to start trading again in 2026, paano ko ba ito gagawin? This is going to be how I'm going to build my trading career. I-share ko sa inyo what really works. This is the most uncomfortable truth for every trader. So, most trader, aminin na natin guys, most trader won't change in 2026. Same emotion roller coaster, you name it, greed, fear, greed in terms of keeping you too long sa mga positions mo kahit alam mong talo na, and this is something that repeats endlessly, and at the same time, nandyan na rin yung same execution. Ang nag-iba lang, you are trading different year, but still you get the same regret. And the market doesn't care about your New Year's resolution because the reality is, it only responds sa behavior natin as a trader. And if yung behavior mo is still the same, I want you to understand, definitely yung resulta mo will be the same dahil wala ka namang binabago sa behavior mo or attitude mo as a trader. Ano ba commonly yung pumapatay sa account natin? The reason kung bakit tayo lagi naliliquidate. So, let me discuss this. First of all, accounts don't die randomly. Actually, mas predictable siya na namamatay yung account because of number 1, over leveraging. Second, walang journal. Number 3, random entries. Next, of course, nandiyan na yung favorite nyo, chasing hype or FOMO. And last but not the least, yung pinaka mortal sin natin or yung negligence, which is yung no stop loss or no stop limit. Because by the time something is trending, ang nangyayari pag pumapasok tayo sa isang coin, ang totoo naman talaga yan is you're not early. Kaso, ang nangyayari, ikaw yung naging exit. Ayun nga, sabi nga ni Wag Forex, wrong mentor daw. If we're going to sum this up, 2025 wasn't cruel for us. It is being honest sa behavior natin as a trader. If I'm going to share with you my 2026 trading rules, so this is going to be my non-negotiable, no? So these are not trading tips. Ito yung survivor rules. So bakit kailangan ito? Because number 1, kung hindi ka mag-survive sa market, you won't get a chance na maging profitable. Sabi nga ni Ed Seikota, first rule is cut loss, second rule, cut loss, third rule, cut loss. Because by cutting losses, maybe you could have a chance of becoming profitable. Dito sa trading rules na to, ang first rule is 1 to 2% risk. I know this is very small, pero kung may imagine mo, no, sabihin natin yung $100 mo. Kung siya nang hirap ng $100, parang hindi naman lumalaki. Yeah, nandun na tayo sa hindi siya lumalaki, pero the point is, you are practicing. Ano ba dapat yung behavior mo? Ano ka ba doon sa pagmamanage mo ng $100 versus just $1,000? Same lang ba? Kasi kung same yun, ibig sabihin, it will be easy for you to scale your $1,000 account papunta doon sa 10,000. And kung same pa rin yung behavior mo, you're still following the 1 to 2% loss, then maybe you could have a chance na from 10,000, pwede mong iakyat yan papuntang 50,000. And if you still have the same behavior, same mindset, or same execution, then maybe you have a chance. Pwede ka na mag-trade ng 100,000 to 200,000 or 500,000. Sky is the limit. Madali siyang skill if you know how to handle this percentage and you know how to handle well, hindi lang yung percentage but the psychology behind having this percentage. So next is daily loss limit enforced. So sa daily loss limit enforced, akala kasi natin, usually kasi sa trading, lalo na kung mga beginner, lagi nandito yung hustle culture na grind lang. But what if kakagrind mo, lumagpas ka na doon sa 10% to 15% hanggang 30% drawdown. Kakagrind mo. Isipin mo, yung account mo, kahit may 1 to 2% risk per trade, pero ginawa mo, nag 100 trade ka naman, and that 100 trade is nag-snowball sa losses, then wala rin. So by having this daily loss limit, dito, mapipigilan mo yung sarili mo na magkaroon ng Superman syndrome or revenge trading, no? So next is every trade journal. So sa every trade journal, ito yung magiging reason kung bakit ka hihinto sa pagtitrade. Kasi pag in-skip mo ito, dito sa pagjo-journal, huli ko agad yung mga estudyante ko na mahilig mag-revenge. Sabihin natin, 1 to 2% risk per trade. Okay, followed. Coach, sinunod ko. Sunod, na-enforce mo yung daily loss limit mo. Pwede kasi mangyari dito, pag hindi ka nag-journal, pwede kang bumalik ulit doon sa 1 to 2% risk per trade. Kasi we human beings, until hindi pa natin nakita yung 100% ng damage sa portfolio natin, itatry mo pa rin. Mag-sneak in ka pa rin na, di pa naman ganun kalaking loss eh. Pwede ko pa naman i-trade pa ulit eh. Kahit konti lang. Pero the moment na nag-journal ka, doon mo marirealize na, okay, kailangan ko muna tumigil. Kasi sometimes sa trading, hindi problema yung kailangan tuloy-tuloy ka. Ang problema, paano mo pipigilan yung sarili mo mag-trade. trade. That's why, ito yung kasabihan namin na sometimes, not trading at all and knowing not to trade is also a skill. Kasi, nandun na tayo sa, alam mo yung setups, dapat may ganito kang strategy. Pero paano kung hindi in favor sa'yo yung market? Eh di naubos lang yung account mo. So, that will bring us to no revenge trade. So, dito sa no revenge trade, once na nakapag-journal ka, check na yan. Sure yan, mataas yung chance na hindi ka magre-revenge trade. Kasi, imagine this, kung nang trade ka ng 100 times, i-journal mo ba pa isa-isa yung 100 na yun? Ibig sabihin, if you have 100 trades, 100 din yung journal mo. Right? Ang dami nun. Ang dami nun. So, dito pa lang, pag na-checkan mo na agad yung 1 to 2% risk, daily loss limit enforced, and every trade journal, goods ka na. Pag hindi mo sinunod to, you are not trading anymore. You are gambling. So now, if you're trading for adrenaline, ang maganda niyan, punta ka kay Wag Forex, message mo si Boss Kai, hingi ka ng, ng IV na Boss Kai. Kidding aside. Okay. So, if you're trading for adrenaline, go to casino, no? Kasi, number one, it's cheaper. May free drinks ka pa, may free food ka pa. And at least, it's honest. Kasi nasa casino ka eh. Talagang expect mo doon, yung chance mo manalo sa casino is very small. Casino is for gambling. But professional trading is boring by design. Boring talaga siya. Because if you're going to trade, you'll have fewer trades. And next, it has to be quality. Ibig sabihin, hindi lahat ng trade na makikita mo, papasukan mo. Kailangan you have to focus on quality trades. And the last but not the least, capital first. Kasi kung wala ka ng capital at nagde-demo ka na lang, then I don't think you'll have a edge in the game. Iba pa rin kasi yung real capital versus demo account. Ito yung nami-mention ko lagi sa mga students ko na 80% of success comes from trades that you don't take. Kasi kung bara-bara ka lang ng trade, pasok ka lang ng pasok, exit dito, then mawawala yung quality and hindi mo talaga makikita yung edge mo as a trader. If I'm going to start trading again, as in zero, definitely I will start with fewer coins. And this is mostly yung mga trader mapapahinga ng malalim. Because they believe na the more na marami kang coins or pairs na tinitrade, the more na mas mataas yung success rate mo. However, baliktad yung nangyayari. The honest truth about this is you don't need 10 markets. You need one that you truly understand. Share ko lang yung story, no? Na-mention ko nga nung nagkaroon tayo ng esports. Ang naging trade ko na lang noon is BTC. Kasi nung hinaluan ko ng ibang altcoin, natatalo ako. Yung panalo ko sa Bitcoin, naging kalahati minsan bumabalik sa market kasi natatalo yung mga altcoins. Kaya sabi ko, sige, focus na lang ako sa Bitcoin. And then, there's this one guy who supported the Crypto Esports League, si Shell Castro. Nagkwentuhan kami. By the way, si Shell Castro, guys, hindi siya maano sa Facebook, pero trader talaga siya. Doon na ako nakamit na may mga traders na ayaw mag-public, ayaw mag-livestream kasi gusto lang nila mag-trade. Gusto lang talaga nila mag-trade. Wala silang pake. And nung nagka-sharean kami ng mga watchlist, napansin ko, sabi ko, bro, pansin ko sa mga tinitrade mo lagi si Bit tsaka si Pepe. Tapos si Solana. Tapos we both agree na, oo nga no, puro yun lang yung mga coin na tinitrade niya. Doon ko din nakita na master niya na to kaya paulit-ulit yung coin na yun na laging tinitrade niya. And may isa lang siyang setup na nakikita tsaka pattern. Isa lang, yun at yun lang din yung tinitrade niya. Hindi ko sabihin guys kasi hindi ko alam kung confidential ba para sa kanya yun. Maybe siguro pag nag-live ulit ako or maybe nag-live siya, gusto ko ma-share niya from his own words na yun yung ginagawa niya. Kasi hindi ko rin alam kung ano may mga traders kasi din na ayaw nila i-share yung strategy nila. May mga ganun no? So I just want to respect yung knowledge. Ayoko mag-share ng walang paalam, kumbaga. In that case, kung magti-trade ulit ako in 2026 from zero, Bitcoin will be the pair. Kasi number one, deep liquidity, logical yung movement niya, and meron siyang institutional flow. So kung mag-ETH ako, this is going to be optional. Everything else is noise. Always remember, yung depth beats breadth. Okay? Okay. So sa Tagalog, yung hininga mas malalim sa tinapay. Okay. Ang hirap kasi bigkasin eh. Yung, ayan, depth beats breadth. Paano ba bigkasin to, Boss Kai? Okay. So next, clarity over complexity. Kung mag-trade ako in 2026 and I will start all over again, my system is going to be intentional. Intentionally in terms of simplicity. Ang gagawin ko lang is mag-trade lang ako ng breakout and retest. Yun lang. Tapos, liquidity sweep kung mayroon man sa mga key levels kasi madalas yun talaga yung mga high probability na setup. Tapos yun lang, dalawa lang. Breakout and retest, liquidity sweep na nasa key levels. Another thing na gusto ko rin share dito is yung price action. Marami kasi sa atin, we're trading choppy markets. For me, it's not my edge mag-trade ng choppy market. Siguro merong iba, profitable doon, I'm not really sure. But my personal rule, if it's not clean, I will skip that coin. And patience isn't passive. Always remember that it's aggression against bad decision. So next, risk creates stability. Balik tayo doon kanina sa discussion natin about 1 to 2%. Maybe siguro most of you nalilitan, but always remember, small risk isn't weakness. Kasi when you risk 1 to 2%, no single trade can hurt you. Nangyari din sa akin to guys, no? I'm not an exception kahit sobrang laki ng experience ko. The reason bakit may mga ganitong rules, especially sa mga traders din na kilala nyo, is because to avoid and prevent. We're not perfect trader. Binuo tong mga rules na to para maprotektahan kami. And eventually, nagkaroon ng chance na maging profitable. Thank God. Okay? So, yung 1 to 2% na yan, that is not weakness. Just always remember, it is peace of mind. Sobrang halaga ng peace of mind. Kasi the more that you add to that position, lumagpas ka na doon sa 1 to 2%. Pag na-damage yan, umabot yan ng 10% drawdown. Sure yan, sira talaga yung psychology mo. Sira yung psychology mo, sira yung buong rhythm mo sa market. Kasi you're dealing with emotions eh. Kaya nga diba sabi natin, trading has to be boring. Kasi doon ka makapag-execute ng maayos if your trading starts to be boring. Pero kung haluan pa rin ng excitement yan, hindi siya boring, then dyan papasok yung paiba-iba yung isip mo, paiba-iba yung ginagawa mo. Halo-halo. Madali lang naman mag-add ng zero, di ba? Sabihin natin, ngayon, $100. Naging consistent ka na. Kaya mo na pala mag-trade ng $1,000. Naging consistent ka sa 1,000, try mo. 10,000. Dali lang mag-add ng zero. Just in case, if you are thinking of stopping, no? Hindi masama na tumigil mag-trade in a day. Kasi, di ba, minsan naka-mindset sa atin, kaya ko kumita ng $100 per day. Paano kung wala? Paano kung hindi siya binibigay sa'yo ng market at hindi available yun? So, ang mindset natin dito, a daily stop is not quitting. Last but not the least, risk management isn't about money, it's about keeping your peace of mind. So, Coach, ano ba yung what does a sustainable trading looks like? A sustainable trading looks like this. Ito yung sequence niya. First is you have to prepare. If you're going to prepare quietly. Check mo ano yung mga key levels, lagay mo yung mga setups. Pwede mo rin i-check actually kung may news, may Twitter, just in case para hindi ka masagasaan. Okay din siya. Next, trade intentionally. Gusto ko bigyan ng diin itong trade intentionally eh. Kasi most of us, pag nagtitrade tayo, matik na gusto mo kumita. Pero intentionality comes with, pag magtitrade ka, may setup ba? May isa pa ako napansin eh. Pag may student ako nagcha-chart, ang nakikita ko, scroll siya ng chart. Yung ganito ng ganito, scroll ng scroll, pero wala naman nangyayari. Yung ganyan no. Tapos ganito, tapos lilipat ulit ng time frame, tapos titingin ulit sa 1 minute, tapos gagalaw ulit. Yung parang aligaga. So the reason why I'm sharing this is because nagiging ganun yung behavior mo sa market is because you're not intentional. Hindi mo talaga alam kung ano yung hinahanap mo. Ibig sabihin, tumitingin ka ng chart, naghahanap ka ng pwedeng i-trade. Kung aligaga ka, scroll ka ng scroll, ibig sabihin you're not intentional, no? Kumbaga, umupo ka sa chart, naghahanap ka ng iti-trade mo. Naghahanap ka kahit wala kang ma-trade. So you have to be intentional, guys. You have to be intentional. Trade ka kung may setup lang. Dapat pag upo mo, alam mo na agad yung hinahanap mo. Hindi yung nandun ka sa chart, dun mo palang hahanapin, ay ano nga ba iti-trade ko? Ay, mukhang babagsak ko, trade ko nga kasi babagsak. Hindi ganun. So, next, review honestly. Most traders skip this part. Kasi, why? Bakit ako magre-review? Eh, ang gusto ko lang naman kumita. Diyan kayo nagkakamali. The reason why you are reviewing is because you want to understand bakit ka nanalo, ba't ka natalo. I always remember this lesson when I was in college. Buti na lang di ako nag-cutting. Sabi, may dalawang student. Yung isa matalino. Yun yung summa cum laude. Yung pangalawa, hindi ko alam kung anong tawag doon, pero siya yung second. Yung summa cum laude, nakakuha siya ng 47 out of 50. Yung pangalawa, nakakuha siya ng 46 out of 50. Now, yung summa cum laude, tinatanong niya bakit mali siya doon sa tatlong items. Yung second, na sumunod sa summa cum laude, happy na siya. Didn't bother kung ano ba yung apat na mali na yun. Basta nag-celebrate na siya. And that was also happening din sa trading natin. We don't bother to review honestly. Bakit ba nanalo yung trade na yun? Ano yung nakita natin, ano yung na-feel natin, and what do we do differently? Because in trading, you have to grow. Kung beginner ka ngayon, it's fine. Kung nag-all in ka ngayon, it's fine. Kung naliliquidate ka ngayon, it's fine. Kung na-FOMO ka, it's fine. Kung tinatama ka ng emotion, it's fine. Kung nagre-rage ka, it's fine. Pero you have to grow. Hindi ka dapat may stuck dyan. Because if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, do not expect na magbabago yung resulta mo. Yes, mabibigyan ka ng malaking pera. Pero definitely, you'll repeat the same behavior over and over again and babalik ulit yun sa market. And the quality of your trading is determined before you ever place a trade. So the reason kung bakit natin sinasabi laging growth, because growth lives in reflection, not in execution. Now, I want to challenge you guys for 30 days. Lalo na kung beginner ka. So, this is about making money in 30 days. It is about installing a system that works for 30 days. So, bakit installing? Kasi guys, di ba, we are in the matrix. So, sa matrix, install mo yung discipline na to. And these are the steps. Number 1, only written setups. Kung ano ba yung alam mong setup, yun lang yung gawin mo. Before each trading session, sulat mo, write down kung ano ba yung exact conditions na required for that entry. It's up to you kung ano bang session yan, may kill zone ba, whatsoever. Pero if the market doesn't give you those conditions, please don't trade. Period. Ganun lang siya. Next, very important, journal every trade. Most of us kasi in-overcomplicate natin yung journal eh. Umpisahan mo lang sa pinakasimple. It doesn't have to be complicated at meron ng kompletong metrics. Ang importante, meron dyan date, pair setup, entry, exit, risk amount, PNL. Ang pinaka-importante dito guys, kung ako tatanungin nyo, emotional state. Lalo na kung beginner ka. Ano ba yung emotional state mo pag nagtitrade ka? Because sometimes, we discount yung fact na may nangyayari externally sa trade natin. Kunyari, bad trip ka, nag-away kayo ng asawa mo, may mga external nangyari sa labas, madadala mo yun sa trading. Very important guys, emotional state. And then from there, doon ka na maglagay ng specifics. Kasi if you're not happy, hindi ka mag-generate ng creativity. Kaya very important talaga yung emotional state. Last but not the least, weekly reflection. Sa business, laging may retrospective. So kung tinitreat mo yung trading mo as a business, dapat meron ka ding retrospective. Kailangan check mo ano ba yung performance mo on that week. Ano yung mga pattern na nag-emerge? Ba't ka nanalo ng time na yun? Trending ba yung market na yun? Bigla bang may announcement? And ano yung mga setups na nag-work sa'yo? Because self-awareness compounds faster than capital. And magugulat ka, 1 to 2 years, gawin mo to. Sabihin natin, lumagpas ka ng 30 days. Definitely, tataya ako. Magkakaresulta ka. I will leave you with this. And if you had to start from zero in 2026 nang walang capital, if you're going to ask me what is this one rule, kailangan mo lang gawin is just choose one. Make it sacred. Consistency isn't built through hype. It's built through 1,000 boring decisions. And I want you to make correct decisions because the quality of your life is highly correlated on the decisions that you make on a day-to-day basis. Akalain mo yun? Alam ko yun. Yun lang guys. Maraming salamat.